Oh, hello there. It's been a while, hasn't it? I guess you guys have been wondering where I've been. Or maybe some of you guys didn't even notice. But for those who are wondering, I guess it's time to explain. Hand, come to me. Please fetch me a pair of scissors. That's better. Cue the intro. A few years ago, I decided to uproot my whole life and move to Oklahoma. My parents had bought over 40 acres of land there and was going to grow a smidge of the devil's lettuce. Of course, we were going to do this legally and start a legit business. I thought it was a great idea to go down there and make some quick and easy money. This was the first domino to my downfall. My first mistake was not consulting my girlfriend. I told her about my plan and I just went. While in Oklahoma, we ended up going through a very messy breakup due to the long distance and my lack of communication on my plan. I hate you. And speaking of Oklahoma, who moves to Oklahoma? It is like its own lawless country. Fireworks? Legal. Open carry? Legal. Weed? Legal. The speed limit is like 90 miles an hour. I get weed is like legalized in most of the states now, but at the time, it wasn't. Anyways, I lived on this farm all by myself. I mean, my uncle also lived there, but he was always busy doing his own thing. So I basically felt like I was there by myself. I also didn't have a car, so I was literally stuck there alone with my thoughts. I am a mental weakling. I cannot be alone with my thoughts. Even if I had a car, our farm was in the middle of nowhere. The nearest town was over an hour away. 90 miles an hour. Do the math. I was pretty isolated and it was not good for my mental health. I wasn't totally alone. My uncle was not the most responsible man. He thought it was a good idea to get 6 dogs. He wanted to breed them and sell the puppies, but this dude had no idea what he was doing. He had them chained up all day and he neglected them. And eventually he gave up on breeding them. So I took it upon myself to raise them as my own. It was pretty rough raising 6 dogs, but it was worth it. They were my only friends. That was the start to my new life. The whole time I was in Oklahoma, I had to keep the whole business afloat by myself. My parents were supposed to move to Oklahoma with me, but they still had their jobs, so they didn't come. I had to learn everything through trial and error and slowly become an expert. The Oklahoma weather was no joke either. The summertime was like Grimace, hot as hell. And when it rained, it flooded everything. Most days I spent on the floor of my bedroom watching the ceiling fan spin, counting down the minutes until nightfall. Eventually I adapted to this new lifestyle and learned how to grow these flowers. And they were thriving, but not for long. About 2 weeks before harvest, my greenhouse was infected with mites and I had no way to get rid of them. They destroyed all of my plants. All of my hard work in this scorching sun. Ruined. Morale was at an all-time low. Speaking of bugs, there is every bug known to man in Oklahoma. There are these black and yellow garden spiders the size of my hand, stick bugs, beetles, beedrills, scorpions. What is this place? It's its own country. I hate it here. I wasted 7 months there, busting my ass 7 days a week, alone. The business ended up failing really hard and my parents sold the property. I didn't make a single dollar. I was severely depressed at this point and I thought I hit rock bottom. I had to stay positive though. A clean slate, fresh new start, no more mistakes. In fact, I don't make mistakes. I make learning opportunity. Hard work will pay off. I had to get back on that horse and start the grind all over again. After my parents sold the property, I decided to move back home. I managed to find a job through my friend Kyler. Kyler owned a moving business and I began to work for him. Everyone who worked there was very young, so we moved at a very fast pace. No one used proper lifting techniques. It was back-breaking work, but I think I was doing okay. The first 2 months were not that bad. A regular schedule, regular hours. We helped people move their furniture. About the 3rd month, Kyler wanted to expand the business. He partnered up with this super well-known furniture store. I don't think I can say who they are. I'm gonna call them Furniture Mart. We delivered their furniture to their customers. This was when the problems began while working with Kyla. The furniture we were moving were super high-end furniture made of stone and vibranium and old ancient elderwood. Furniture Mart expected every truck to be only manned by 2 people. Some of these furniture were really over 1,000 pounds. And we were expected to carry them up and down stairs and still be presentable. All the customers from Furniture Mart were all rich and wealthy people. Furniture Mart had really strict guidelines for us. I felt like we had to pretend like we were rich and high-end servants to all these people. Like we couldn't even sweat while we were on the job. I could make a whole video about this job and its ridiculousness. Their expectations were so high that we would skip our lunch break just to make like the scheduled timelines for all of our drop-offs. Like I said, I could make another video on this, but it was miserable. Shortly after we started working for a furniture mart, something odd started happening. We started to get our checks 1 or 2 days late. Then it became a week late. Then it became 2 weeks late. And then it just stopped coming. Kyler told us that our checks were marked as fraud and that his bank account was frozen. He explained that he was working diligently with his lawyers to fix this. Busting my ass for free again, I see. I did not know I was an intern. I thought I was an employee. He began to pay all the employees out of his own pocket instead of the company account. Since we were friends, I thought I was gonna do him a favor. I told him he didn't have to pay me out of pocket. I could just wait until the bank was unfrozen and he can just give me all of my checks. Ah, yes. So young, so naive, so stupid. He told me it would take about a week to get it all figured out. Every week he would tell me, oh, I'll get it fixed next week. And eventually it went on for 3 months. I worked for this man for free for 3 months. Every day there was a new excuse on why we were not getting our checks. Slowly, one by one, everyone started quitting until it was just me and 2 other guys. We were working 10 to 14 hour shifts because no one can cover them. We had no lunch breaks, not that I could even afford it. I was surviving off of vibes and toast. There was a time when I did a 21-hour shift, driving overnight to another state. I truly trusted my friend to do the right thing. Oh, also, since we were short on staff, they had me driving the trucks. I was not forklift certified. I was driving these trucks illegally and I crashed them twice. It was not going well for me. Yes, I know I am to blame for a lot of the unfortunate things that were happening to me, and I take accountability for that. I should have did what everyone else did and forced Kyler to pay me out of pocket. I'm so stupid.
You're stupid!
I trusted my friend, okay? But I soon came to the realization that he was not going to pay me, so I quit. Kyler told me that I would get paid and that he would update me weekly. After 1 week of quitting, he ghosted me. He stopped picking up my calls. He stopped texting me. I was left in the dark. He also physically ghosted me. I went back to the office where we worked out of and it was completely cleaned out. The 2 last people that was still working for him also stopped responding to me. He had convinced them that I was going crazy and that he already paid me. So naturally, I tried to sue him. That did not go well. I had no idea what I was doing and there's like no guidelines to this. So I screwed up a lot and it dragged on for months and went nowhere. I was completely broke at this point and I decided to file for unemployment while looking for a new job. I got a call from the unemployment people and they were asking me about my 6 months of employment with Kyler and why I only made $10,000. I explained to them that I was only paid for 3 months and I wasn't paid for the last 3 months. Then they asked me about the first quarter of the year, how I made $70,000 in Iowa. I did not work the first quarter of the year, and I've never worked in Iowa. Someone in Iowa stole my identity. They're using my social security for work. I don't know, taxes. I don't know. But do I owe $70,000 in taxes? Even worse is my imposter made more money than I did the whole last year in like 2 months. I had to learn how to file a social security fraud, and they had to figure it all out for me. I was not doing good mentally around this time. I started drinking more, making more poor choices. I crashed my car. That's the 3rd car I crashed this year. Who keeps letting me drive? I was really testing the limits of my insurance policy. It's okay. I'm okay. It felt like no matter how hard I fought for something, nothing ever worked out. Luck was not on my side. All these dumb shit just kept stacking up on me. All of it was due to my poor choices. I was my own worst enemy. Making bad decisions was kind of my thing at this point. Some people knit, I spiral. I thought that nothing was ever going to go my way. Then one day, I got an interview, and that interview turned into a job. And that job paid really well. It was not an easy job, though. I worked as a case manager for developmental disability waivers. It was super stressful and super draining, but at least I was getting paid. I was slowly getting my life back for about 6 months, and then I got arrested. 1 step forward and 2 steps back. I'm so dumb.
Yeah, you're so dumb.
Who keeps talking to me?
Me. You're so dumb.
Han? Han, is that you?
No. And stop praying to me.
I thought all my hard work within the last 6 months were going to be undone. I spent 3 days in jail and I missed work. Thankfully, my supervisor covered for me and I didn't lose my job. From that moment on, I made a conscious effort to stay out of trouble. I started reading books and meditating. I quit drinking and started trying new things. I reconnected with my ex and we rekindled that relationship and we started dating again. I love you. Then out of the blue, all of the ex-coworkers that Kyler owed money to reached out to me, and we all got together and sued him. We assembled like the Avengers, and we won our lawsuit. I was finally paid out. Apparently, Kyler had a gambling addiction, and he bet all of our money on red, and that's what really happened to our paychecks. After another 6 months of working at the case management position that I had, I got an even better job at the county, and I've just been thriving for the last year. Mistakes? Nah, I call it character development. I am just an overdeveloped character at the end of my redemption arc now. And that's where I've been these last few years. With juggling all of my mistakes, I didn't have time to animate. But now that my life is more stable, I think I'm coming back. With the algorithm also pushing all these new Storytime animators, I think it's the right time to come back. I hope we are all successful. I'm not a perfect person and I make a lot of mistakes. And at least these mistakes can be entertaining stories for you guys. Thank you for listening to my trauma dump. I hope to see y'all at my next video. Have muscle.